Thanks for staying with us. Now, at least two people are believed to have been shot dead in Nairobi after Kenyan security forces fired in the air to disperse thousands of mourners at a stadium hosting a viewing of a deceased opposition leader Raila Odinga's body. Odinga's body arrived in Nairobi this morning, marking the start of the national mourning for the statesman who died in India on Wednesday. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi says Odinga's death is a loss for the country and that the stalwart leader will be remembered for playing a key role in strengthening India-Kenya ties. Ishan Garg reports from New Delhi.
The body of former Prime Minister Raila Odinga was repatriated from India on Thursday morning. The governor of the South Indian state of Kerala, where Raila Odinga died, paid floral tributes to his mortal remains at Cochin International Airport on Wednesday evening. Odinga's convoy was accorded a ceremonial guard of honour by Kerala police before being flown to Mumbai on a special Indian Air Force flight. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi has also expressed his condolences, calling Odinga a towering statesman and a cherished friend of India. Modi also recalled knowing Odinga since Modi's days as Gujarat's chief minister and praised Odinga's admiration for traditional Indian medicine systems. Odinga was 80 when he died on Wednesday morning after suffering a cardiac arrest during a morning walk at an Ayurvedic facility in Kerala's Ernakulam district. He had arrived in India last week for Ayurvedic treatment, accompanied by his youngest daughter and a personal doctor. The Kenya High Commissioner to India, Peter Maina Muniiri, coordinated with Kerala authorities for the repatriation of his mortal remains. In Kenya, 7 days of national mourning have been declared, with flags flying at half-mast. Ishan Garg, SABC News, New Delhi.
All right, let's get the latest now. We're joined by Member of Parliament in Kenya, Maxwell Kariuki. Good evening to you, sir, and thank you so much for your time. So, Maxwell, reports are suggesting that other reports suggesting that 4 people were shot dead in Nairobi this after Kenyan security forces fired in the air, according to some of those reports, to disperse the crowds at the stadium. What do you know?
The country is in mourning. The people are overwhelmed. Raila Odinga's supporters in their millions are overwhelmed. The scenes that you saw unfolding from the airport when the body of Prime Minister Raila Odinga arrived on board Kenya Airways aircraft, the military couldn't even get things in order. The throngs and the crowds overpowered them, and they were able to get as close as they could to the aircraft. And along the way, as they were moving the body, the original intention was to move the body to the National Assembly, where the body would lie in state and allow people to view the body in an orderly manner, like they did when the first president of our country, Jomo Kenyatta, died, when the second president of our country, Daniel Arap Moi, died. And when our third president, Mwai Kibaki, died, there was organization. People were able to come into the parliament and go out. But today was a different case because Raila Odinga is not just anybody. This guy is the very heartbeat of Kenya. It is difficult for us and for the followers of Raila Odinga to imagine the demise and Kenya without Raila Odinga. All of those things that you're seeing on television, the scenes at the National Stadium, the scenes on the streets, police lobbing tear gas, police shooting in the air, and even the reported incidents of fatalities by the police. It is nothing that has to do with criminal intent. People don't want to destroy property. People did not go to the National Assembly or to the airport or along the highway all the way because they wanted to cause chaos. You got to understand it's grief, it's overwhelming, and it is intense. Very, very intense. Raila Odinga, it is to us what Nelson Mandela was to South Africa.
And what is the latest in terms of the situation now? I'm going to get to him and his influence in Kenyan politics in just a moment.
I just listened to our Vice Deputy President, Professor Kithure Kindiki, giving an update. I think the situation is being contained. They are trying to put more resources so that they can make sure that things run smooth. The idea is to give all the supporters of Raila Odinga in their millions an opportunity to mourn their leader. So we are yet to see what will happen tomorrow. I think the body will still be placed in the national stadium. People will be allowed, the public will be allowed to come and view the body. But I think now the burden lies on the government, the security apparatus, the security agencies, to see what kind of measures they will put together to make sure that what happened today does not happen tomorrow.
So when you look at Raila Odinga, for example, no doubt an influential figure when it comes to Kenyan politics, with some saying that he shaped the politics in that country. And of course, when you look at him in recent times, he was a man who was also able to contain, the voices of the Gen Z when it seemed that there was instability there. Let's speak about the void that his passing leaves for the people of Kenya and the politics in that country.
There's a lot of mixed feelings going on right now. People are wondering what next for our country. For the last 2 years, you will remember, our country has been rocked by political crisis, anti-riot government, people opposing President William Ruto. Now, 1 year, soon after Ruto was sworn in, Raila Odinga led protests against William Ruto. But again, after that, they were able to come together to implement some kind of agreement. But to the surprise of Kenyans and to the surprise of everyone, even to the surprise of Raila Odinga himself, the man who spearheads the protests and who spearheads national upheaval in times of crisis, was caught by surprise. A new generation comes in, young kids, young youths, they are on fire, they are unstoppable, they are relentless, and they are marching, demanding Ruto must go. Now, just to show you how Raila Odinga is a voice of reason, a voice of stability and mediation, and the elder that is respected. Amidst the noise, amidst the uproar, amidst the efforts, you will remember that the people that were protesting, Gen Zs, went to the parliament, they were about to raise it down, they had already started to bomb the Supreme Court, and they were on their way to the State House to oust President William Ruto, or even to bomb the State House down. But here comes Raila Odinga. He comes in at a time when the emotions of the country are on the edge. Nobody wants to hear, nobody wants to listen. People are dying, kids are being shot. Kids are being shot. It was almost like the 1976 of the Soweto uprising in South Africa. And we've never seen this before. Kids get shot, their fellow kids collect the kids and march the body out of the scene, and they continue protesting. Raila Odinga comes into the scene and he brings calm. He comes into the scene and he is able to appeal to the new generation, this new army, these kids that were not there when he was born, and the kids that never grew up with him. Is not like us, we are millennials. Yeah. So we grew up hearing about Raila Odinga.
Quickly,
so the big question right now.
Yeah. Pardon me, Maxwell, pardon me for coming in there. Pardon me. Quickly, just before I let you go, he does, though, as much as we speak about him as this towering figure, not only in Kenyan politics and of course across the world, but there are some who are viewing this moment as some kind of betrayal, with some saying that why would he go seek, medical assistance in a foreign hospital as opposed to seeking the very health care that is available in Kenya?
That was a big debate yesterday, and the debate is ongoing. It's an embarrassment, I have to say that. I have to admit, it's not just me. Even the followers of Prime Minister Raila Odinga will admit the healthcare in Kenya is a big problem. It doesn't work. President William Ruto, when he came to power, he changed a few things that had been put in place by the former President Uhuru Kenyatta. and he put a new program in the health system that has actually failed dismally. It is not working. It is not uncommon in Kenya to see people dying at the reception of a hospital, to see people desperate, and to see the health workers neglecting the people. Now, it's been the tradition all along and in the history of our country that when wealthy politicians and business people get sick, even with the smallest of the ailments, they fly to India, they go to Dubai, they go to South Africa to seek treatment. But when you see them on the campaign trail, when you listen to the president, when you listen to the Minister of Health, they will be convincing Kenyans that things are working. I did say earlier that when we were watching the body of our former Prime Minister being wheeled out of the hospital where he was being resuscitated, it was a normal hospital, the equivalent of the Baragwanath of South Africa. He was being wheeled where people were queuing in a pharmaceutical looking for medication, and probably the public, the majority of the folks that were lining up in the hospital didn't know that that was our former Prime Minister.
Yeah.
So the healthcare system, it's a big deal in our country. And I hope, but again, we've got a problem. Our politicians don't learn. They don't learn. The president keeps talking, the ministers keep talking, but they don't learn, because this is not the first time. But I hope that this will be a wake-up call, that the leadership of Kenya must make decisive leadership to fix the system and to make sure that the taxpayers' money in Kenya goes to fix the very system that should guarantee the health of our country.
Maxwell, appreciate your time this evening. Thank you so much for talking to us. That was the Member of Parliament in Kenya, Maxwell Kariuki.